What's up, Facebook? Hey, Dr. Vince here. Welcome to the show today. Hope you guys having an awesome Thursday. We are wrapping up this week. And today I want to talk about the 3 keys or the 3 secrets to 7-figure doctors. In other words, those guys that are doing, 6 figures a month and, at least, and then well into, 7 figures for the year. And, before I went into consulting, we were doing that on a regular basis. We had actually been doing that since 2013. And I work with doctors who are doing these numbers now. And there's just a different, and I also work with doctors that are, doing $20,000 a month. So what separates the doctors from the ones doing $20,000 a month to the ones doing $100,000 a month or $300,000 a month, like a friend of mine here in Washington State? So, so that's what I want to talk about today. And I think that it's actually pretty valuable information. I mean, it's valuable and it's interesting to me, and I think it's probably only for the doctors that are interested, right? I mean, that are motivated, that are ambitious, and they want to kind of go to that next level. And so, if this interests you, check out clientelevationgroup.com. This is a new program, new one-on-one consulting program that I have, and it's really for those doctors that they're either, at that kind of 40, 50K a month level and they want to hit the 100,000, or they're already at 100 and they want to go to 2, or they're at 2 and they want to go to 4, or they're at 3 and they want to go to 6. It's like that, just they're in that expansion mode. I'm putting together a plan right now for this doctor out in well, actually, I'm not going to say where he is. He's in the Midwest. And he has like 7 clinics and acquiring 6 more, so he's going to have 13. And he has another side business that provides clinical work for chiropractors, the blood work, lab, and I mean the guy's just crushing it. I mean, he's just straight crushing it. And he's like, hey, what's the Cadillac version? Let's go to the next level. He wants to, integrate everything and, utilize, some long form TV and what does print offer? He's doing radio and Facebook and all this stuff. And so, so that's what I want to talk about today. What separates those doctors that are already at, 100,000 a month and up from someone that's doing $20,000 to $40,000. And there's a big difference there too, right? Someone that's doing 20 grand a month and someone that's doing 40 or 50, because 40 or 50 grand a month, I mean, you have a nice practice, especially if you're at 50% overhead, you have a nice practice. You're in the upper 10% in the industry, but what does it take to get to that 1% or that 0.1%? And so the first thing, the number 1 key, so 3, we're going to talk about 3 keys or 3 secrets to kind of getting to that next getting to that kind of $1 million level in practice. First one is they are absolutely committed to ongoing personal development for themselves, right? So whether that's they're a big, committed to ongoing learning, they're committed to their personal health, they read a lot, they consume, great information. And you have to really be, these days, because there is no, doctors are not successful because, sorry, that's a double negative. Doctors are not struggling in practice because they don't have enough information. There's so much freaking information out there, it's ridiculous. So it's not that we have not enough information. There's too much information at this point. So what the problem is not enough focus on the right information. Like these, like I'm a big reader, right? But the books these days, like if you look at a lot of these books, they're written by kind of, you know, sometimes marketing people or speakers, et cetera, and they're kind of like a stepping stone to they're trying to read the book, then join the program, then go to the seminar, right? They're trying to work you up what's called a value ladder. And so what I would recommend if you're a reader, which is if you're already in the small percentage, and that's awesome, because you know, I mean, it's, hey, readers are leaders. The more you learn, the more you earn. Warren Buffett said that. So, but if you are a reader, look to older books, right? The current books on the market, again, they're a little light on content and they're more on sales to get you to the next level. They want to give you just enough information so that you can't quite implement it yourself. Like, gosh, shit, I'm going to need someone I'm going to need more, right? So then you buy the course. So the book's $20. Then you buy the course for, you know, $1,000. Then you go to the seminar for $3,000, whatever it is. So that's a value ladder. But some of the older books, like some of the classics, Good to Great, right? You know, 7 Habits, you know, and biographies. Biographies, by and large, I mean, they're not going to give you the fundamentals of business, of marketing and all that type of stuff, but they give you the inspiration and you can see how these people went through trials to get where they're at, you know, and what they did to get to where they're at. And the thing is, like, the definition of an investor is someone that's going to sacrifice short-term gain for a long-term result, right? So you just think about that. You know, Bill Gates, I mean, he didn't he didn't start Microsoft in a 30,000 square foot building. He started in his garage, you know, 300 square feet. So, so in terms of, we're talking about the 3 keys to 7-figure chiropractors, right? The guy's making at least $1 million a year. So the number 1 key is committed to personal growth, right? And it's not just learning. So learning is key, right? The more you learn, the more you earn. But it's also your health, right? Because you can't, I mean, you're going to have to put a lot of time, effort, and energy into this thing that you want to build, this practice that you want to build. To do that, and to do it properly, and to have the minds, you know, the acuity there, you have to be in great health. I mean, really, really good health. I mean, if you look at like top actors, top athletes, a lot of the top business people, you look at them like, dang, they look good, right? Because they're really taking care of themselves, because they know that is a differentiation factor. You know, I was reading this story about Bradley Cooper. He's the actor. He directed and acted in this new movie, A Star Is Born, and he's been in tons of movies. He's one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. But the point is, when he turned 30, he woke up in a pile of his own blood after, the morning of his 30th, or the morning after the 30th birthday, because he was so friggin' drunk that he literally ran into a wall, busted his nose, and passed out. And that's how he woke up. And he said, enough of this bullshit. And everyone was like, they loved him. I mean, everyone loved him. They thought he's got talent, he's good looking, he's got a unique look, but he's crazy. The dude just parties his ass off, right? He's not committed to his craft, and he stopped drinking, right? Then and there. And you look at from that time, the dude just rocketed into the stratosphere, right? And you don't hear as much about him these days because, one, he's so dang successful. He picks his projects very selectively, but he's also really focusing on being a director. And dude, over the next 15 years, the guy will be an Oscar-winning director, I promise you. Stopping drinking, at least, now I don't think there's anything wrong with having a glass of wine, once in a while or anything like that. But if you're drinking on a regular basis to where you wake up the next day and you're foggy, you're losing. You're losing the game. right? Because you're not at your best and someone else is, right? Life is a competition. Read Mark Cuban's book, How to Win at the Game of Life, I think. The Game of Life and the Game of Business, something like that. It's a short book. Dude, awesome book, you know? And he's not trying to sell shit. You know, I mean, Cuban's a billionaire. He's just trying to pass on information because he actually cares. You can tell. So you can tell whether people care or not. He cares. He cares about entrepreneurship. He cares about people making a difference. So the number one key, you got to be committed to personal growth and development. And that includes your learning, and that includes your knowledge, and your health, and your fitness. So the next key, number two, is you have to, from a practice perspective, if you're a practice owner, you're a business owner, you have to be 100% committed to mastering your marketing, right? You have to take over your marketing. Like as a doctor, your two highest value activities is adjusting patients and generating new patients, right? Adjusting new patients and generating new patients. So if you're not doing that, if you're not highly focused on being the best adjuster, in other words, you're highly focused on getting the best clinical outcomes, right? So people get clinical outcomes and then they'll talk and tell their friends and family. But two, if you're not wholly focused on creating a robust, comprehensive marketing plan, so you just get, you know, new patient after new patient after new patient after new patient, like, man, it's depressing. If you go through a week and you don't have 5 to 10 new patients, that's depressing. I mean, shit, I remember, you know, I just went out of, I mean, I only transitioned into consulting just in May of 2018, but I mean, I had 4 consults a day, and, you know, we were doing, you know, big cases, $6,000 cases, decompression and neuropathy, and, you know, I'd close half, but I mean, that was 4 a day, and those were intense. I mean, you're talking about the worst of the worst, right? People that severe back conditions that are they're going to either get fixed with decompression, or they're going to surgery, or neuropathy where they have no life, and either you fix them because the drugs aren't doing shit, either you fix them or their life from that point forward sucks. So and that was intense, and I did that for 5 years, and you know, I just got to a point where it was just too much mentally for me, and I had, you know, just dug into marketing back in 2010 because I had opened my own practice, and I almost had to shut the damn thing 3 months later because I was struggling and I didn't take marketing seriously. You have got to just wrap your head around marketing. Go to Half Price Books. This is what I did. I went to Half Price Books. I bought every book on the shelf they had on marketing. Learn marketing. Learn how to get your message out there, and so that people know what you do. If people don't know about you, that is the biggest problem you have. Obscurity, okay? Obscurity is your biggest issue. So, and you're not competing against other chiropractors because most other chiropractors are in the same boat as you. And so what you're competing against is drugs, apathy, in other words, someone doing nothing, physical therapists who have more money than you, massage therapists, which and medical doctors, and hospitals. Right? All those commercials, you know, that's who you're competing against. So you got to get scrappy. And if you can't, you know, if you can't afford to go invest $5, $10, $20,000 a month in advertising, right, on TV and radio and print and newspaper and digital, then you need to learn how to get scrappy, right, and build up a robust marketing campaign so that. And you're not looking for home runs, right? Everyone wants a home run. Oh my God, I want 20, 30 new patients a month. You know, that's what we get promised on the interwebs, right? On Facebook. Hey, this Facebook advertising is going to get you 20, 30 new patients this month. Bullshit. Dude, when you're putting together a marketing campaign, you want singles and doubles. I can rely and live on singles and doubles. I don't want to feast or famine on home runs, right? Oh my God. January was awesome. Got 40 new patients. February sucks. We had 3, you know? that is a stress. That's the roller coaster. That is the dreaded roller coaster. That sucks, and that's not fun. And I've been there. So the key number 2 of the dudes that are making $1 million plus is they grabbed their marketing by the cojones and said, I am going to, and it's not that they went and learned copywriting or necessarily need to learn Facebook advertising, though that's possible. That's what I did. I learned copyright. I learned how to write ads. I wrote my own ads. I, newspaper. I learned Facebook marketing, learned Google AdWords, all that bullshit. The point being is that you don't have to really learn the mechanics, but you do need to understand it enough so that if you have the money to hire somebody, you don't get taken, man. These guys are charging like minimum, like what, $700,000 a month, some up to $3,500 a month for Facebook marketing. And it's like, they don't give a shit if you get new patients or not. I mean, what do they care? Their marketing, I'm not going to dive into that. Point being, you got to get a grasp on your marketing. You got to make it your mission. When you are not in the office adjusting patients, you are focused on generating new patients. That should be, that should be your focus, right? Like that doc, I was talking earlier about this doctor in the Midwest. Dude, the dude has 13 clinics, and he's calling me and saying, how do we get more patients? Because he's doing about 50 of these stem cell patients a month. He wants to get to 100. You know what I'm saying? So if you're at, $20,000 or $30,000 a month, you should be thinking, dude, I want to be like that guy, right? So it's like, and here's the problem. Here is the problem. There are people like that probably in your town. That's who you're competing against too, is the big dogs. And that was us in Western. This is still going, Sound Pain Solutions. We're investing 60 grand a month on marketing, TV, radio, newspaper. From Tacoma up to Edmonds. We just blanket that area. So it's tough to compete. But the point being is you have to get a hold of your marketing. You have to really, really want to get a hold of your marketing and get some joy and satisfaction out of building your damn business. Honor the struggle. And that's number 3, man. That is number 3 of the 3 keys or secrets of $1 million chiropractors is do the work and be proud of it. Man, some of these consultants, they're like, well, my plan, you're going to work less and make more, and people are going to, modify their schedule around yours, and you can be open from 9 to 11 and like 4 to 5:30. And you're like, well, that sounds phenomenal. Right? Hey, who doesn't want to work 3 hours a day and double their practice? Well, that's marketing, guys. That's someone copywriting the hell out of you, and you're falling for it. I'm not saying you guys are falling for it. I'm saying people are falling for it because that's what they want, but it doesn't exist. You have to work. You got to be committed to the work. My buddy, Josh, when we graduated Parker in 2007, he went to work for this doctor in Scottsdale, Arizona, and this doc owned 7 clinics, and Josh worked from 7 to 7 Monday through Friday, and then from 7 to 1 on Saturday. And you know what? He crushed it. He was doing $200,000 a month, $200,000 a month. He bought the practice, he bought the land, he bought the building, and then he sold it all when he was 30. And I don't know what the hell he's doing now. He's falling off the face of the earth. The dude's kind of a crazy motherfucker. Oh, excuse me. Crazy good dude. But the point being is, he worked for it, man. He worked for it. And that guy in the Midwest, he works for it. My dad's been practicing for 50 years. He works for it. So you have to be willing to put in the work. To get what you want, you have to deserve it. So just, from a logical standpoint, do you feel like someone that works 3.5 days a week for a total of 5 hours a day, do they deserve to make $1 million? No, because you're not helping enough people. You get what you put in, right? You take out what you put in. So if you put a little in, you get a little out. Right? Put a lot in, get a lot out. Now, are there ways to go up the food chain and delegate some of the responsibilities so you don't have to be there from 7 to 7? Yes, absolutely. But you got to get there first. You got to get the systems in place and generate the robust marketing plan and get the results and have the reputation in the community. You got to build all that, and then you can put people under you, and then you train them so they do what you do. So that's number 3. And it's not sexy, but it's do the work. But more importantly, in my opinion, it's be proud of doing the work. I mean, I'm a consultant. Dude, I'm the first one here and the last one to leave. I turn off the alarm and I set the alarm at the end of the night. I mean, I'm like, I don't know what these people are doing here, but they are working baker's hours. But the point being is be proud of putting in the work. Be proud of it, man. You're building a business. You're helping people. You're getting paid to help people. That's the best business model ever, right? So be proud of it. And you know, so number 1, commit to the learning, bettering yourself every single day. 2, commit to marketing, mastering the marketing. And number 3, put in the work and be proud of it. Honor the struggle. Okay, so if this rang true, if this is something that, you know, you're like, hey, yeah, that makes sense to me. I'm kind of down with that. Check out clientelevationgroup.com. This is a one-on-one, all right? So this is my high-level consulting. If you're like, dude, I don't know what your prices are, but there's no way in how I'm going to be able to afford your high-level coaching. So if that's the case, check out chiropracticconsulting.co. There's a 30-minute training, 12 ways to bulletproof your practice. That's chiropracticconsulting.co, not .com, .co. And you put a name and an email, 30-minute training, 12 ways to bulletproof your practice, goes over all that stuff. And then you'll have an offer to do a trial with my group coaching, which is a lot cheaper. So thank you so much for checking in. I'm Dr. Vince. I'll be here roughly the same time tomorrow. I shoot for 1 o'clock Pacific time every day, except for Sundays, which is family day. Okay, thank you so much. I wish you the best. Keep at it. Love you guys. Bye.